Welcome and welcome everyone to today's Reiki Women's podcast. This one is a snapshot, and it's a snapshot of Laurin Wittig. Now, Laurin, you have a lot of different things about you. You've had a finger in a couple of different pies, but you are a Reiki practitioner and teacher.
Yes.
And currently you have a podcast out there called Curiously Wise. And in the past, you've written some very well-known romance books. And actually, it's a genre. I didn't realize that Scottish romance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a big genre.
Niche.
And my background is Scottish. My mom's family is all Scottish.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have a real affinity for Scotland. So
Right. Okay. And anyway, so if you're into romance books, look them up. Highlander, I think, is the really well-known ones, possibly, or you tell me.
Mine are Highlander Betrayed, Highlander Avenged, Highlander Redeemed. That's one series. And then I've got Charming the Shrew is my bestseller, which I think the title gets it. There's 6 of them. And if you just find me, you'll find them. They're all on Amazon. They're all there.
Sounds fun. All right. Well, that sounds like a nice rainy day in having a read.
Yes.
And but we're here for Reiki. So I want to know how you went from doing something like that or how you combine that, whatever you did, and got into the system of Reiki.
It's really been interesting to me. I shifted gears probably 6 or 7 years ago now. I think 2015 was when my last novel came out. And since then I have become an energy healer. I sort of awakened to it. But I went back and read my last 3 books, that Highlander series, after I started doing this work, and realized that I had described in there for my heroines all the things that I do now with energy. And it was shocking to me because I didn't know I could do it when I wrote those. So clearly that was sort of channeled through me. So it's something I've been fascinated in. I honestly, when I was 17 years old, I went to see Star Wars, like the second showing in this giant place in Washington, D.C., where I was living at the time. And when they started describing the Force, I was like, that's it. That's what I believe. That's what I experience. And so for me, it's been sort of coming along, in a lot of weird ways. It's come to me that energy is something that's just natural to us. It's part of us. It's part of everything that we're, touch and feel and live in. And I call it the soup. And so as I began to learn about how I am actually a healer and to work with energy, I met a woman named Denise Neveau, who's a very dear friend of mine now, but she's also a teacher and she's a Reiki master. And so she is the one who really introduced me to Reiki. I had heard of it, but I'd never really experienced it. And she was doing some healing work for me and she used it. And because I get really curious about this stuff, I started asking her questions, and she said, well, you could be doing this. It's very, you're already basically doing it. You just don't have the sort of framework of it. Yeah. And so I have taken 1, 2, and 3 levels with her, and I'm a Reiki master teacher, I think is what it's called now. I'm not currently teaching it. I'm not sure I will. She's so good. I just refer people to her. But it's become a really important part of my practice. I often describe myself as being a little bit like a jazz musician because I'm trained in a lot of things, but basically at my core, I'm an intuitive energy healer. And so I sort of pick and choose what is needed in the moment. But more and more, I'm bringing Reiki in early in my sessions because it just kind of, it calms everything, and it sort of gets the baseline where we can really do some good deep work with it. So I really like it. It's a fascinating system that I'm still learning.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about your ideas about soup and
the energetic soup.
Yeah. I think for many people, talking about energy is incredibly difficult because it is something that's, I don't know, not
can't see it
in many ways.
Yeah. It's for me, I guess I started feeling it in the palms of my hands. I mean, and because so often when I talk about energy, I'll hold my hands up and talk about it like this, forgetting that people don't know that this is sort of where I first connect, especially when I'm working with somebody else. But even just, I love being in the woods, and I happen to have woods in my backyard is heavily wooded. There's these beautiful parks around here in Virginia that have old trees in them. And I first started to really connect with sort of that idea that everything is alive, everything is part of the energy with trees. And I could put my hand on the tree and feel the energy of it. And then I actually began to hear them. And I talk to trees all the time now. They talk to me. They're very funny. But so that was where I started. And then I started meeting people who were healers and having sessions with them because I was going through a lot of health issues. Worked with a very talented angel healer, is I think basically what she'd call herself. And that's where I came out going, I got to learn more about this. I want to do this too. And I have the gifts. I've been, coming up to it. I think everybody does have a gift of healing. It's just sort of, it may be small, it may be big, it may be something they're not aware of, or it may be something they're very aware of, but we're just naturally meant to help each other and to support each other when we're not there. And so I think it's really fascinating that more and more people are being aware of the energy within them and the energy around them. And the more of that we can bring into people's awarenesses, I think it's such a gift, not just to the people we're working with, but ultimately to the world, because as we each become more connected to that, we're more connected to each other, we're more connected to the earth, we're more connected to everything going on around us. And for me, I'm also very empathic. I can get the emotions. So I can go, oh, there's something going on over there. And I can just sort of take a moment and send a little Reiki to whatever is the source of that anguish or that anger, or, and they don't have to accept it. You know how that works. It's like, I can offer it. You don't have to accept it. But putting that vibration out in the world also means other people can pick it up if they want to, or if they need it. So I don't know if that's strictly Reiki, but that's one of the ways that I use it.
I guess
it's just offering.
I guess the way I see it, like you're saying, like everybody knows how to heal because that's what we do, don't we? We heal ourselves all the time. Every moment of our life, we're trying to find balance.
Exactly. Homeostasis is the goal.
That's right. So, whether it's physically in the body, that the body's trying to heal itself, which it's always trying to do, get back into balance so it can function, or the mind, trying to work out what's going on, or energetically that we have, we're feeling shifts and changes and it's always all moving. And and I think because of that, because it's us that's happening with, as you say, then, it's just a natural thing for us to, because we're all connected, that what we're doing is also affecting everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And how beautiful is that if you are intentioning the greater good?
Yeah. Often we're not at all aware of what's going on. That's right.
No.
And bringing our consciousness to that.
Right. Yeah. I often will say, I invite healing in whatever way is in the best interest of this person that I'm working with.
Yeah.
I'm not in control of that, but I can intention that this energy go where it needs to go. And that's the beauty of Reiki, because it really will do that. It'll just, it's intelligent.
It's sort of like you're reminding the other person, if you're doing a treatment, of it's like, oh, remember, you can do that too, right?
Right.
And yeah, I often talk about it as a sharing, Yeah. And yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. I'm so happy that I met my teacher and have taken the classes and be able to use it, on I did it on my dog a few days ago. She had an upset tummy and I just did Reiki. She loves it. She's just like chilling and like, give me some more,
I have one dog that loves it, one dog that doesn't like it. So,
really?
runs the other way. So
Yeah.
you never quite know, do you? But
No, our previous dog was like, nope, don't touch me. Leave me alone. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. But yeah, so Reiki is awesome.
Yeah, I imagine it's a great support for you, as well. Just when we do the practices, that's when we start to experience it ourselves, and that gives us then
Yes.
more, some sort of inner wisdom or knowledge of
Right.
of what energy might be. Like we were saying at the beginning, it's something which is just so unknowing, we don't know, do we? So the only way we can know is by actually consciously working with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do have clients pretty regularly go, oh, I felt that. So they begin to get tuned in to what that energy feels like as it's moving through their body.
Yeah.
And that helps them then to be aware of it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Laurin. That's beautiful. And I'm just going to say, you live in Williamsburg in Virginia, which is what I did forget to say at the beginning. So if anyone's looking for you, the name of your business is Heartlight Wellness.
Well, that's my business. My website is heartlightjoy.com, which is a little easier to type. Yeah. And I do, of course, with Reiki, you can do distance work as well as local work. So yeah, you don't have to be here in Williamsburg.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much, and have a beautiful day in the heat, and we'll have a beautiful day in the cool, and enjoy life. And thank you so much for being on Reiki Women Podcasts.
Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful to talk to you, Bronwen.